Hello, hello. Hello, hello. I think we're on. I think we're completely on. All right, I think we're live. My cat playing. He lost this toy. Whee! And he plays catch. So, as usual, let's do the audio check first. How are we on the old YouTube? Do I have already link opened? Nope. Let me quickly get in and see YouTube. YouTube microphone check, my microphone check. Huh? How is it? Okay, we're good on YouTube. And how grand old Twitch? Twitch microphone check, my microphone check. Huh? How is it? We got audio on YouTube, on Twitch as well. That's great. That's great. Okay. Let me quickly bring it up here and here. Okay, I'm ready for streaming. Pumbaa, are you ready for streaming? So, little big cat. Hello. Say hello to people. Say hello to people. Alright. Where's the OBS so I can see if I'm pointing it? Pumbaa. Pumbaa is our guest today. Yeah. Hello. Okay, you're free. And you lost your toy. I can help you with that. Not right now. Alright, so today is gonna be another day of... Oh, goddamn. Excuse me for 1 second. Excuse me for a hot second. I needed to wash my hands because I picked up the cat and I didn't realize that he's just after using litter. So when I grabbed under his tushy, you know, my hand got dirty with his business. So I had to quickly clean my hands. So. What's the plan for today? The plan for today. Godot, another stream, another diving into Godot. Basically, me and my friend, we are kicking off the project. We are working on MVP of an MVP for an Unreal Engine 5, right? And then the Unreal Engine 6 news broke out, how it's gonna to play out, how it's gonna work, and all that jazz. And one of the main reasons we wanted to do it in Unreal Engine 5 was for not only releasing the game, but educational purposes, right? My friend wanted to learn more about scripting and gameplay programming. I wanted to learn about things that I wouldn't be able to learn at the day job, etc. But then Unreal Engine 6 showed that, hey, Unreal Engine 6 is going to be such a big shift from Unreal Engine 5, gameplay scripting wise and gameplay programming wise, because blueprints will be out of the way. Not at the beginning, but the flag is planted. Bye-bye blueprints and bye-bye all of the C++ current gameplay framework connected to Actus or anything you know. It will be verse driven, all the gameplay ability system, etc. All of that shit will have its own one-to-one verse native implementation, etc., right? So the shift will be big. And we faced the question basically, are we still doing it on Unreal Engine 5? Or are we switching to some other engine and, you know, doing like a little bit of research of verse and scene graph, etc. It turns out that, well, actually, you know, Godot, for the way our game is going to be, seems like it could be actually a better answer anyway, better than Unreal Engine 5. But we don't know Godot, so we are diving, we are learning, we are seeing it. So that's what this stream is gonna be about. Next, part 3 of that. This is like a screenshot of the art style that we're going for, taken from Unreal Engine 5. I will have a stream that where I will try to make it make similar thing in Godot, right? But we will see. I need to, as I've spoken many times before, I need to make it into like the animated GIF, right? So usually when I'm assessing like new game technology, I'm doing like an extremely simple endless runner. Why? Because it kinda gives like the super basic idea of everything, how everything works, how movement scripting works, how can you build even a character and its scripting, how can you move the character around the world, how can you spawn things, how can you interact with the collision detection, some scorekeeping, how do you add features to the game, etc., etc. Like, and it's subjective. I'm not saying that everyone should, you know, when evaluating new gaming tech, new engine, do the endless runner. It's just my personal, personal best intro that I had when I was, you know, starting. I was first starting. In 2014 or 13, I was using Unity and playing around with some other game prototypes, and only after making like a simple endless runner, I learned that, oh, okay, that's how you can structure a game, right? This was like the first thing that actually worked, and I finished, right? And then Unreal Engine 4 back then when I was learning, the same thing, and it allowed me to quickly get into the thing, right? Without being too complicated, because most of the games, at least for me, other game types are way too complicated, or they don't deal with the particular idiosyncrasies of making video games. Oh my god, the sentence that I was about to create. Basically, the middle section of Venn diagram of all the game genres is small, but Endless Runner kinda touches upon things that most of the genres are touching. So I know some people are making like Space Invaders or Snake clones as the first thing. But for me, Endless Runner works the best. So what I have right now working, I actually don't remember. Let's try. Click play, and nothing freaking happens. So I can move my character left and right. I see that I do some printing of overlapping with some obstacle, right? I got some jumping with some animation. Shitty animation, but yeah. That's the thing, right? And yeah, so we are going to dive deeper into this thing. Yeah, I remember one thing that I kind of didn't like was in the animation system when working on transitions, the expression, that the fact that it isn't really checking or printing errors when you type in gibberish. I wasn't a fan of that. And someone on stream right now, it escapes me who, suggested that you don't have to use expression, you can do it in script actually instead of here, so that's better. But all in all, I kind of feel like this is like basic, right, and bare bones, and it does exactly what it needs to do, right? Blah blah blah. And so if we were decide to take, work with Godot, for sure we would be searching for like a different animation solution. Good thing about the Godot, it is open source. Many people are developing lots of stuff for it. Let me quickly share with you the doc that I created for me and my friend. These are all the functionalities that are like important when shipping a game, and every now and then I am adding like more to it, right? And it is like functionality, what the functionality, how it is implemented in Unreal Engine 5, and what is the implementation in Godot with links, if there is a link to like an outside scripting, and to like the outside plugin or GD extension or whatever, right? And I'm just, I think maybe next month or maybe even month after that, I might be just trying to go through this list and, on stream check out lots of this stuff, right? So, for example, did you know that Godot has its own visual scripting layer? Yeah, someone did created it. It's called Godot Orchestrator, and for sure I would love to try that. Because certain things are easier to script for not even non-programmers. Like certain things are just easier to script in a visual manner, right? In a blueprint-like fashion with nodes and shit. For example, in Unreal Engine 5 and 4, you can script abilities in the gameplay ability system in code, right? You can create code for ability, how it works, but it is a pain in the butt to see what starts when, etc., etc. And code form actually, even though it is optimal, it sucks. So most of the companies are actually still using, blueprint scripting for gameplay abilities with gas in Unreal Engine 5 because it's just easier to follow. Yes, you are paying for virtual machine running this thing, etc., etc. Yes, but at least you can quickly understand and develop these abilities, right? So if my friend and me were to use Godot and we would be making abilities because we are making, a game that is not odd. Oh my god, how do you say it in English? It is a love letter to JRPGs, right? We will have some abilities. I don't think we would be scripting them with just, GD script or C sharp. I think abilities we would be doing with visual aspect because it's just easier to follow how things are being created, right? And speaking of abilities, gameplay ability system. I think I have ability system. Yes, gameplay ability system in Unreal Engine 5. Godot, I found 2, and I think there are even more. There is Godot gameplay systems, GGS, sorry, and this is like something that is aiming to be similar. And Forge gameplay system. So both of those, I don't think they are in 1.0 yet. But yeah, I will for sure be checking those out. Because without ability system, we won't be able to make our stuff. And we could develop our own ability system, but it would take so much time, right? And there are other cool things like learning agents, for example. So support for neural network, right? Go.rl, reinforcement learning agents. It's nothing to do with LLMs. Don't get it twisted. Right? Like lots of stuff that you can find. There's lots of stuff to find for me, whether it has equivalents, right? Like for example, subsystems. Octree is Octree exposed. Octree is are extremely important, especially if you are making more of an open world game. We don't, but we might use Octree for lots of stuff. Test suites, splines, lots of stuff. Debugging, there's like the one must-have debugging tool, Panku console, right? To create a debug console because, as I understand, Godot doesn't have it natively. So you can actually create builds, and in those builds you can actually do things, right? So I saw a lot of good community posts about Panku console. So yeah, for sure we would be using that if we decide to use it. So let's get back to our scripting. Right now we have some interaction with the obstacle, right? Like we are able to detect that we overlapped with something, and we are able to C++ speaking, or Unreal Engine blueprint speaking, we are able to cast whatever we encountered and try to use it as player. I'm not a big fan of var. It reeks of things that I don't like. But you know, you can take the body that from Node 3D. They try to use it as a player, and if it is actually not player, then don't do anything. If it is on player, call the function that I created, which is on obstacle overlap and print obstacle attack player. So I got things in set up so I could actually have an interaction that such obstacle can do something with the player. Now, this basic thing, it's great because now I can create a spawner for obstacle, right? And I can create a simple script that will be moving those obstacles from the moment when they are spawned. It would be moving towards the player, right? Because in our I wonder, it doesn't show up as window in this editor. Needs to create a new window, right? Yes, in our endless runner, we are, you know, our character stays in place, things are spawned in front of him, and they are moving toward my character, right? And some of the obstacles can be positive, like some power-ups, immunities, score multipliers, or freaking whatever, right? Or they just can increase the score, like they are coins or freaking whatever, right? So what I'm interested in right now is if I can treat this basically object-oriented stuff, right? How can I reuse the functionality of this obstacle and have this as a parent and create like sub subclasses, speaking C++ wise, but basically create like another version of this, right? So I will want to have code for moving, you know, the obstacle down that will be shared as well, but also on body entered, each one of those functions. In C++, I would be virtual overriding. I am curious how it is being done in GD script. I'm sure in C# it's just, you know, regular C# stuff. And also, I am also interested, like, how do you compose those objects? Because maybe the way I did it is actually wrong. Maybe you should do it differently and treat, you know, like these are these other node types, right? Maybe I should treat this as a node type, kinda, that would be part of the other thing, like a composition thing, not inheritance thing. I'm not sure how, you know, what could be the best in Godot, right? Because I'm just starting with that, so I'm not sure about that. Node has one connection. Click to show signals doc. Ah, yeah, of course, on body enter, yes. We are reacting to on body enter. I kind of forgot how I clicked it. Was it like connect, disconnect, or something like this? I don't remember. We will learn soon, right? Because for now, we kinda have to do similar thing that we did here in the physics process. So it is like a physics stick, we could call it, right? I know in Unreal Engine it doesn't really work that way, so you kinda have to I have to wrap my head around differentiating between regular tick processing and physics processing, right? Which actually makes sense because in Unreal, in actuality, kind of does work the same way, but the way you interact with the physics system is that you scripting in Blueprint, you don't even know that it is actually scheduled in different parts, because in Unreal Engine you have like pre-physics part of the frame, during physics part of the frame, after physics part of the frame, and actually there are more than those three, but that's like a basic division, right? And whenever Blueprint Tick runs in pre-physics, so whenever you're thinking you're actually working with physics, it's more like you're scheduling, like, hey, in physics I want to do this, this, and this, and so when it prepares the data, then the physics engine actually runs. Here, as I understand it, it's similar, but it's more explicit, so you actually have to think about this. Okay, this will be processed in the actual moment where the physics are being ticked, right? You need to call move and slide at the end of the physics process to invoke, character body 3D internal moving and sliding, right? Code based on velocity, so it can be processed. If you don't, then nothing will happen, right? And in regular process, you are doing the things that as I understand, in Unreal Engine 5, you would be doing in pre-physics. So there's that. So yeah. But do I actually want to have this on in physics? Yeah, because I actually want to use velocity. Even though, I'm not really bouncing back from things, I still need this. None of this is actually needed. No, I won't have... yeah, the big other difference between Unreal and Godot is the coordinate system, right? And Unreal Z is up and Y is forward. Here it's the other way around. Y axis is up and Z axis is forward. X is still left and right if we take a peek at it, right? If you look at this, bang. X is here, Y is here, Z is forward, etc. I think Blender has the same thing, right? This whole widget actually looks like in Blender. All right, script, and we got our bot. Best promotion on Stream Boo. Yeah, someone mentioned how I could get rid of those things, but I kind of forgot. So let me quickly take care of this bot. It's funny, actually. Usually the bots aren't really showing up until later in the stream. Fuck it, let's ban this guy. One day I will have time to set up Streamlabs instead of Restream, etc. But this day won't come, probably even this year. So yeah. On the Y axis, I don't need anything to happen. I actually need for things to happen in the Z axis. And actually, no, I only need like, let me copy. Export. So export means that a thing can be exported for inspector to be viewed, right? So I'm in my obstacle. Z axis speed, and then we can tweak it. And actually, yeah, from the moment it spawns, actually I want this to be like this. I don't need that. And the axis speed times delta, right? This is our velocity. It should be constant, and move and slide. And what is identifier velocity not declared in the current scope? I thought velocity was because it is area 3D. Area 3D doesn't have physics process, right? Should I say area 3D on its own doesn't have velocity, right? It's just a collision polygon and that's it. It can have physics processing, but not. Let's do this. It also doesn't feature move and slide. Okay, so I think that actually I might need here, right? And now velocity is. That's weird. All right, fuck it. So how can I? First of all, I need z-axis. But the z-axis actually would be understood because it's just positive z-axis, right? Here it's a z-axis, and as I understand it, the positive values are moving thing in the towards the camera, right? So it will be fine. I wish I could have script right alongside my viewport. I don't know if it is possible. There are like two viewports. Maybe not that way, but more like that way. But instead of this viewport, I have script. But I don't think that's possible. Because that would be so much easier. But whatever. I can manage without that. One viewport script. Yeah, because eventually, when I will be, if we would use Godot, me and my friend, I would be scripting in Rider anyway, because I have Rider license. At the day job, I'm using Rider, so. That's what I will be using. So the first thing that I kind of want to understand, like I want to move in this delta in the process frame, I want to move my guy without any physics simulation on X. I don't have velocity here, obviously. So my movement direction will be var. That's how you do it, var movement direction. I think they are using this kind of case in vector 3. What is vector 3i? I wonder what is vector 3i. Using integer coordinates. And my dumbass was thinking about imaginary numbers. Okay, no, I actually need vector 3, and can I just do it like this? So it will be 0.0. Does it accept this kind of notation? No. Or not? Okay, what is the error? Invalid numeric notation. So 0, 0. Is it now correct? It is correct. So it is movement direction. So now I kind of want to hello, how are you doing? I'm wondering how I should pronounce your name. GXOCT. Hello, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Ghost. Oh, of course, as Ghost. Okay, so how are you doing, Ghost? I hope you're fine. I'm fine. The weather out here is nice. I'm having a nice Sunday start with the development or learning actually Godot. How about you? How are you doing? Like, can I? Is it the transform of my right? The local transformation of this node. The local in parent space contains and represents this node's position. Ah, so okay. So can I do like position actually? And this is local position. Position of this node in a parent space relative to parent node. So it is like a local, right? Or in parent space actually. So if it is being set up in the level, it is global, right? So it should work. All right, all right. So can I just do this? Ghost answers, fine too. Research AI agents capabilities for development. Oh, and which agent are you using? And for what kind of development? Like, in which engine, or are you making your own engine? Or maybe you're using Raylib or Godot or Unreal? Yeah, I wanted to do a stream about trying to see, agent development for Unreal. But at some point token cost increased and I just was like, okay, I'm not able to, have the spare income for that. So that kind of stream moved way into the future. Alright, so can I actually work with this and be like Z and take like position, or actually not Z, it should be just position plus movement direction times iOS development. Ghost says open code, cloud code, locally running. Oh, just apps, not games. Not games, just apps. Oh, so I hear a lot of optimistic and good things about that. That actually open code, cloud code, locally running for iOS. Actually, it is something that is viable. How are you finding that? And do you have like programming experience? What kind of programming experience do you have? Pardon me if I'm phrasing something incorrectly. As you can probably hear from my accent, this is not my native language, so I might make some weird and funny mistakes, or starting sentence in one way and ending it in the other. Regular freaking thing, right? I want to have it the axis speed times delta, right? And yeah, I want to see will any of this freaking work, because I'm not sure. Like, I'm taking position, but I'm not sure if that's how it should be worked on within Godot. So kinda, let's see. Actually, it went the other way. I wonder why. I mean, I know why, but first of all, too fast. Second of all, so let's put it into 50. First of all, and actually the other direction. The gizmo made me. I think I know why it is like this, because it is rotated and its positive z-axis is in, and I set it up everything so the z-axis actually positive will be that way. The front, actually it is kind of smart that I set it up that way, but I fucked up on my end. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's transform that into being like a little bit into the forward, right? It's still way too fucking fast. And also, you know, because I did it in the regular tick instead of physics, and physics tick in Godot, from what I learned, the physics tick is fixed. So actually, I should move it to physics tick, even though it doesn't deal with the Don't give me this. I don't have access to position? No, I have. Okay. It's just that indentations that are meaningful in this, kind of like in Python, right? So, what I'm thinking? Yes, I'm putting it into fixed physics frame because it means that regardless how many frames per second you have, the movement of the object on the screen will be consistent instead of like, hey, you got a faster frame rate, then your fucking thing runs faster, etc. Even though you're like, you know, multiplying it by delta, but physics code should be consistent. Ghost answers about his experience. 10 years of iOS development. Holy shit, you're a pro. Objective-C, kind of like C, and Swift. I never touched Objective-C and Swift. You can make architecture and AI writes all the code. Fancy, but you need detailed specifications, spec-driven development. So try to re-implement my programming skill for this paradigm. Okay, I think I get what you're saying. So you cannot basically be like, hey, make me an app and it will do everything, right? You really kind of like working with the contractor. You really has to be, you know, you really have to have details of the specifications down to a T, right? And you really need to audit the code, right? Ghost says vibe coding not equal to AI coding. Oh yeah. That's like I am kind of observing it from afar because in game development, at least for now, agent workflows, like people are on two extremes in general, right? Like they are like, oh my god, you can just vibe code everything, you don't have to be specific, it will just work. And on the other hand, you got people on the other extreme that's like, no, it actually completely sucks, and time you're spending auditing the code and prompting is longer than if you do it yourself. Like those are two big extremes that I hear of right now from people that are using it, and I know them personally. So I'm kind of seeing where the chips fall in the game development, right? Because I will be able to, you know, learn after the workflow has been established, right? But yeah, that's kind of like watching like guys, for example, like Primogen and a couple of others, when it comes to like app development or web dev, that kind of, it seems like there is like this workflow where you're not really vibe coding, you're also not coding by hand, but all like AI coding in such sense that you are providing very specific prompts and you have to know what the fuck you're doing, right? You have to know what you're asking for to be able to actually squeeze the tokens out of this thing, right? To be optimal with all that shit and to spend less time auditing, right? And it's like a different thing than vibe coding or just doing everything from scratch. I wonder if it will, you know, fall through with the game development. Ghost says, I heard new Unreal Engine integrated a lot of features, but had not a chance to try them yet. Yeah, they provided. I also haven't tried it. Like model context protocol, right, for Unreal Engine 5, and Unreal Engine 6 will be even further integrated. But how to say it? From what I understood, it it eats a lot of tokens, right? So for now, at least Unreal Engine community is giving a serious backlash to it, because they are like, first of all, blueprints are being deleted, which is a visual scripting, which was really like democratizing scripting for everyone. And second of all, it seems like if you truly want to, use LLMs, take advantage of them for the game development in Unreal, even in Unreal Engine 5 or 6, you would need a lots of tokens in such numbers that only like the biggest companies would actually be able to use that at this level. A lot of data going forwards and backwards, right? And the local models are not efficient enough for that, right? So we'll see how it will go, right, in the future. But for now, when it comes to Unreal Engine, there's not even a little backlash, a big backlash, because it's like no one has that kind of money, right? But for C++ coding, people are already using it on the C++ side of things, right? It's just, from what I understand, it's more like very targeted, right? Like you cannot be vibe coding, right? Like you still have to know what are you doing, right? You still, all that accumulated knowledge still needed, right? We'll see how the chips will fall. Right now it's big chaos, a lot of stuff connected to this topic. And how are you, how to phrase my question? What is like your your experience with the AI assisted coding with the Objective-C and Swift for iOS? Like, are you liking this? Do you actually see like a gain in time spent coding and the knowledge, etc., etc.? Like, how are you? What is like your opinion about your experience with it right now? Ghost says, yeah, I heard of Meta and Microsoft spending 100 millions of tokens. Crazy. And they even made it competition inside the company, like token maxing. Yeah, exactly. And with the fact that the tokens costs are increasing, and they will be increasing even more because the infrastructure is super expensive to upkeep, right? And they are constantly need to also upscale the AI farms, right? So it will be even costlier to spend that much tokens. So yeah, Meta and Microsoft can spend that money, but in the gaming front, like I guess Activision, which is a part of Microsoft, also can spend that kind of money. I don't know, probably Sony can spend that kind of money. A couple of other, EA, right? But the rest kind of, it might destroy their budgets. Be way more expensive than just doing it by hand, right? So it's all about finding, at least that's how it looks like, finding an actual optimal way of working with it, and also the one in which developers aren't feeling like they are being not needed, right? Like when I speak with, for example, my partner is a 3D artist, right? And how she views AI, she's like, yeah, I wish AI, for example, assisted me with UVs, because that shit takes a lot of time, like UV wrapping. There are algorithms, etc. They are trying to make it work, but still, like human touch is needed. And that's one thing that she's like, okay, I would love to give it to AI, right? This kind of tool I need. Other things that are trying to help, for example, her, actually, she found that it's, for her, being at her high level of skills, it's easier to do certain things just by hand because it's faster, right? So the workflow still is being searched for in the game development space. Okay, so I have this thing working. I have maybe like 25 frames. I moved everything into physics processing, so it should be constant, right? And Oh, it's still way too fast. Way too fast. How about 5 units? Way better. I can actually, you know, jump over it, etc, etc. All right. I wish I could like... it's a nitpick on my end. Because in Unreal Engine 5 I can click play in editor and I mapped the end on the numeric pad, right? To like stopping the preview. And it's just, it's so ingrained in my brain that I kind of want map this, you know, closing of this preview, which is its own application from what I understand, running in the background. So I could stop it by clicking the end, but I have to press Alt 4. How many times will I close all of the Godot engine with that shortcut? I don't know, but it will happen for sure. Okay, so I got it running in the physics process. Okay, so I got a movement code. I got detection that, hey, I actually, you know, overlap with the player and player can react to it. But at least I know right now how it reacts to a player, and I can start making other nodes. And Godot, we are dealing with nodes, not the actors, that are based on this obstacle, right? Because this is just like a base of everything. What kind of problem debugger has? Debug session closed. Okay, but there was one error. GD script. The parameter delta is never used in the function process. If this is intended prefix, it would be underscore delta. Whoa, that's how it works in Godot. If I put underscore before delta, it means that, yes, I'm not using this parameter, but it's by design. Really? That's how it works? Oh, really? Okay. That is interesting. And if I do... Oh my god. I pressed the wrong thing. If I do it like this, I immediately get an error from the debugger that parameter is never used. Actually, that's kinda okay with me. I love this kind of things because why have the parameter that you not use? I love this kind of informing. Oh, and I got another question for Ghost, if you're still here. How hard was it to like integrate local models of Claude or OpenCode into your on your PC, on your machine, first and foremost, right? And the other question that I had, what was the other question that I had? I forgot. Yeah, the other question was like, do you have like when it comes to running it locally, do you have like two machines set up, your main development machine and then the dedicated machine that is only used for your local model, or are you running everything on the same machine that you are, you know, using for development as well? I don't know if my question made sense. But yeah, basically, are you having like your own basically LLM server in your house? I heard when it comes to like Mac that people are buying Mac Minis to run local models. That is really efficient. Ghost says, I don't spend a lot of time on AI coding at the moment. I try to deep dive a little to understand how to implement pipeline, kind of how it should work in the enterprise. Okay. There are a lot of steps and you can do really amazing things. For example, most LLMs are trained to write JS, JavaScript, web code. So there is RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. What it means, you can collect books, articles with best practices, architecture, and so on, and AI can use them to better understand your specific scope. Okay, so you can like collect basically all the data, references, books, etc. that you particularly care about for the things that you are doing, right? And use that kind of accumulated knowledge, your own knowledge, that you know, the books that you read, all the articles that you read, etc., and give it that so it can work with JS the way you want it to work with. Do I understand it correctly? Your specific scope, etc. Like, that's actually cool. Yeah, when it comes to like LLM assisted code writing, this is like such a complicated topic because there's like one part of me that is pure engineer, like, oh, I like neural networks, I use them. I was writing my own neural network at university over 10 years ago, right? We were writing first little neurons and then learning how to train them, all the reinforcement learning, etc., etc. Generative part was not a talk in 2013 or something. But it's generally a good, it is a solution, right? Solution maker. And I think of like, hey, in general, neural networks and LLMs have a place in development. That's one side of it. But the other side of it, it's like how companies, big companies, are trying to force it, how big companies are trying to sell it, that it seems like divorced from reality. At least all the public discuss about this. That's the problem that I have with it. Like, they are jumping for all the money in like super hyper scaling way without paying any thought to everything surrounding it, right? So it generates a lot of controversy around it. And that's the thing that I have a problem with. But all in all, like, having tools that can help you deliver better, more optimal results, it would be cool, right? But the whole topic is so muddled with so many nuances that it's hard to talk about it online without, you know, creating like a flame war, right? So it's hard to have a like level-headed discussion. Ghost says, yeah, it can be example of good application source code. It can be database of your company document. Okay. Ghost says, I have a MacBook which runs Xcode. Yeah. I have gaming PC with a 4090. It runs all LLM stuff and publishes them as a service. Ah, okay. So I code on MacBook but use PC as a server. Oh, okay. That's yeah. I get the 4090. It's perfect for neural network, right? Yeah, seems like a good setup. How do you manage, or maybe that's not a problem for you, but like heat generation? Because, for example, for me, at the day job, I'm just running Unreal Engine 5, right, on the biggest scenes with shitload of assets, and my PC, it is a gaming PC, but it's basically on fire, and I cleaned it recently, etc., but it generates so much heat, and I'm just living in the flat with my partner, and in the summer when it's like 36 outside and this fucking thing is starting cooling and all the heat is being recuperated into the air inside the room, I find it really troublesome, and I'm trying to find like a good solution for this. Is this a problem on your end, or like working with LLM on 4090 does not generate as much heat? Okay, so I got this. Let's try my hand at like, okay, new rip and inherits. No, I want it inherit. What does this button do? Can I like select obstacle, navigation obstacle? No, I cannot use my own. Really? Can I choose this? Open? I can. Language GD script or C#. Ooh, I haven't written in C# yet and Godot. Yeah, but I know a little bit of C# from back in the day, from like more than 10 years ago, so it still would be like relearning, but relearning things that I already learned. But with GD script, I wanted to see how the native scripting works in here. Template, no default, object empty. I have no idea what this is. No default or object empty. No default. Let's use this. Built-in script, no path. Where's the part when I can name this script? Is this the part? Not new script, but let's say it will be coin. We'll be collecting coins and we'll see. Oh, so that's how you do it. Extends resources obstacle.gd. Okay. Ghost answers. Also switching from air to water CPU cooling made temperature lower inside the case. I set power limits for video card 80%, current temperature 52, max around 60-62. Oh yeah, so it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Yeah, I also have water cooling for my CPU. So actually CPU heat generation is not a problem, it's the GPU. I can see and hear like GeForce. I have 3080 Ti. And it's heating up like a motherfucker on Unreal Engine 5 scene at my day job, right? So, and its temperatures, it's like 80, 85. And I asked the IT department at the company that I work for, like, hey, I should be concerned about this? And they were like, no, actually NVIDIA provided the specification that for such scenes, etc., like, yeah, 80, 85, it's actually, you know, regular. And when I'm playing a video game, for example, lately I've been playing Spider-Man 2 right now on PC, on Steam, and same thing. Heating like a motherfucker. So when I'm trying to play at night, my partner, you know, cannot sleep because it's so fucking loud and it generates so much heat that... Yeah, I was actually thinking about maybe I should put it in a... buy like a cooler and put it inside a fucking cooler, but it would break the cooler, right? So like, Ghost says 3rd gen was really hot. Yeah, and I was thinking about upgrading into 4th gen, but I bought this PC in like 2021, right after, you know, like, or 2022, after, oh, 2021, after the prices, you know, the COVID price surge dropped down. I bought a PC. Then when the 4th generation showed up, I wanted to buy it, but I was like, no, let me wait for 5th, maybe 6th generation, and it will be cheap. That was a wrong decision because by then AI surged with it, component prices, and now I won't be able to buy a new GPU for a long time. So I need to take real good care of it and just somehow do something about this heat. But hey, at least in Poland, you know, in in winter, I don't have to turn on the heater. I can just turn on PC and work and it will heat the whole room for me. Maybe not the cost-effective heating, but I'm already working, so might as well use that heat to heat up the, you know, room. Ghost says, yeah, my card costs 50% more at the moment. That's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. I could sell my PC for a profit. It's 5 years old PC. I could sell it for the profit. I have an Xbox Series X. I could sell it for a profit. It's fucking crazy. I would have nothing to work on. But, you know, it's fucking crazy. And also the retro gaming hardware. Like I have Nintendo DS and Nintendo 3DS. You can sell it for a profit too. It's fucking crazy. Everything went up. Because it either became like cool retro or... which is crazy to me because Nintendo 3DS still feels fresh in my fucking mind. But whatever. I wanted to see if I could buy Game Boy Advance SP, right? And it became so expensive and I'm like, I'm not paying this for this, right? Ghost says, lol, yeah, 3DS costs like 300, 350 in my place. Yeah, it's like crazy. It's crazy. I was thinking that 3DS right now would be in the spot where actually it would be cheap because it would... Yes, it is a 2 gens behind, right? But not retro cool yet. Like I expected that Nintendo DS and GBA might be more expensive, but not 3DS, right? Ghost says Switch 2 probably costs the same. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty fucking crazy. Zinx is here. Hey Zinx. Hello everybody. How are you? I'm fine. Still learning Godot, still diving deep, having a nice chat with Ghost here. Weather is nice outside. Here. How are you, Zinx? How are you? How are your endeavors? With your tech? What are you working on right now? Okay, so that's how I can create like the base obstacle, and now I can derive. Oh yeah, that's what I actually want to see. Because here I learned how to do like on body entered, and I guess I can just do this, and I am overriding the base implementation, and now I can be like coin overlap with, and see if that works, right? And I guess my coin will be moving at this moment, and if I go into 3D, I want to open up my coin. What the fuck? I want to open up coin as create root node. Ah, because that's how it works. Other node, and can I go like coin? Okay. There's something weird because I kind of want to change the visualization of the coin, etc., etc., yada yada. How the hell can I do this? Because I created a script that extends my obstacle script, right? And the obstacle script is attached to the area 3D, right? That's great, but I kind of want to create a node that is like basically an obstacle, but with the same, with my overridden script, but with a different visualization, etc. I wonder how you do it in Godot. Zinc sense is great. My engine has now scale rotation, and today I'm going to integrate transformation for the assets across the space in 3D. Oh, nice, nice. So you're in that part of development. Lots of matrix work, transformation, matrix work, etc. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I'm so rusty with my 3D math. Because for gameplay programming, it used to be like you learn a shit ton of it, right? At the beginning, right? Because you need it. Then once you work in it, it turns out you don't use it as heavily unless you are working with like movement code, and even there it's like really depends on the implementation and the particular thing that you're working on. If you're working with animation, etc., etc., what type of movement are you doing? But you use it, but at least in my experience, but in scarcity. You're still expected to know exactly what you're doing, but yeah, certain things I haven't had to do for almost a decade, right? So I'm kinda envying you, Zinx, right now that you get to like play around with scale, rotation, and transformation, 3D space, etc., etc. Like that's fun times. Zinx continues. The other part is I need to create a modular texture that it scales with your scale. Otherwise, it's going to be squeezed or stretched if you scale it up or down on the X and Y axis. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Oh, damn. Fun times ahead of you, Zinx. Fun times figuring all of that out and tying it together. Damn. That's one of the things that I feel like if I will be able to retire, because who knows how the fuck this world will work in 30 years or so. Like, making your own engine by hand just for the fuck of it seems awesome. Or if I had time to do it, etc. Like, amazing. Especially, I would love to learn more about rendering because that's not how I arrived in game development. So my rendering is zero rendering skills, right? So that would be lovely to just by hand do for the fuck of it my own render and play around with it, etc. for educational purposes. Like from scratch. That would be awesome. Damn, you have a nice journey, Zinx. Keep it up, it's awesome. Are you publishing like your results somewhere, like as a blog post or like some, I don't know, some social media posts, etc.? I would love to follow that. If you're like posting some screenshots or progress, work in progress, etc. I would love to follow that. Alright, so now to figure out how the fuck can I make a scene that is basically my obstacle but with differences, or do you even not compose things like this in Godot? That's interesting, because there's like this scene and create root node, and you cannot use the obstacle scene as a root node. So how the fuck do you do this? I cannot go like coin, right? Or I cannot go like obstacle, right? How the hell? Yeah, right now I'm just discovering Godot. Like if you're watching it, you'll be thinking like, oh my god, this guy struggles with like the basics. Yeah, because I'm learning how the fuck even Godot works, how do you compose things, etc. Like, yeah, you have scenes, right? You're doing this, but I created like a basic element, obstacle, and now I want to create like a specialized versions of it, like a coin that gives you points, or like something that hurts the player, or something that gives them power up, right? I want all of it to feature the same kind of scene, right? The scripts that are extended versions of the basic script, right? I'm not even sure if that's how you should work with it. I do have like some examples, but actually no, but they don't have this kind of interaction. It's just like player, etc. and fuck off, right? So I might be downloading something in a quick second just to see how it should work. Zing says, it is fun, but my camera is at the moment not optimized for 3D light. For 3D. The light is in the basic attachment to the camera, and I don't have two-sided assets. Okay. You can see it from the front, but not from the back. I want to come as close as possible to Unreal Engine 3, or if my time allows, to Unreal Engine 4. But this is a huge amount of work. You're correct. I started only, but I'm fine in the moment. I orient myself in the time on Blender and create a proper render pipeline. That's cool. That's so cool. And yeah, it is a huge amount of work, but so rewarding. So rewarding, right? So rewarding. Rewarding. That's great. Right. I remember that there used to be something like GD West? Yeah. And nah, I don't want to go that course. I just want... I don't want to follow tutorials. I kinda don't like that. I want examples. Kinda like Unreal Engine provides some examples, right? Blah, 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 blah. That's not what I'm searching for. Product. Do they have something for free? A great Godot starter kit. Nope. I remember that they had a GitHub repo. Yeah, there it is. Repository. Learn GD script. No. No, because that's not what I'm trying. Like right now, the goal is not just to learn 3D script, but also figure out how the whole engine works, how you should compose things, because me and my friend, we are evaluating whether we should switch to Godot from UE5. Tree sitter. Grammar. Okay. Translations. Great. Website. GD add-ons. I remember like someone mentioning to me that there's like a good, basically an RPG project from GD Quest. Create a project. Oh, nice. Godot to the action platformer. I want to do, but fuck it. I might as well look at this demo project streaming. Proof of concept to greatly improve the official Godot demo project repository. Yeah, FPS can be fine. Yeah, because I'm not even sure, you know, how it is intended to be, right? In Godot. Zinc says, yes, it is. The best part is if something doesn't work and you get it to work after a lot of errors and you figure it out. That is the best feeling you can have. Yes, yes. I feel like From Software Dark Souls players kind of feel that when they are finally beat the boss after many tries, it's similar to what you experience. I also love that part of like you're trying to figure out a new completely fucking thing, right? Your brain never worked in that capacity, so you're trying to figure it out, fail, and then once you get it, you figure it out, it works, and you're like, ah, level up. Best feeling, I agree. You feel so much better, smarter, and the thing is done, and it's like, oh my god, I love that. I love that. There is some project. Alright, and what is this? Create your first 3D game. Friendly tutorial. No, I'm not interested in the whole tutorial, but hey, there's like the project here, and yeah, there's like a demo scene. Alright, let's download a couple of projects and see. Yeah, because right now I'm searching for inspiration. This is true, it was the same for scale over rotation. By the way, do you look for this? Godot Open RPG. Yes, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Thank you. That's what I was trying to find. Like, I remembered, like, at the back of my brain, there was like this thought. There was like some RPG from GD Quest people. And Godot Open. Yes, that's what I was trying to search for. Yeah, because I wanted to see like something a little bit more complicated so I can see how you could use Godot, right? Because that's the thing, like you can learn GD script, right? All right, great, you learn the language, but how do you assemble things to work and so you could scale up, etc., etc. And that's what I'm like having trouble with it right now. Like I created a basic obstacle, I kind of want to create more versions of the obstacle that are reusing parts of the script, but change certain things, not only variables. And there's like script, there's like scene, and I kind of actually want to create scene that is an obstacle but with different things put in there, and I kind of want to see how do you mesh it all together, or maybe that's not how I should work at all. Maybe it is just me being a C++ programmer that are trying to, you know, put OOP in a place where it shouldn't be, object-oriented programming, etc. Thank you for the link. That is exactly what I was trying to get. Here, Project Godot. Okay, let's download the zip. I don't have time to log into my Godot shit. Now let me quickly work with that. Where the fuck download it? Let me quickly do this thing. And I wonder when it will open up. Yeah, thank you for opening up in the place where I didn't want to open up Windows. Let's take it here. Give me a sec. I will quickly like try to work that out. Got an example project. Yeah, let me open it here. We open up this archive. Okay, it is packed correctly. So I can just do this. Yeah, and I should be able to open up this project. Let's import project. Oh my god. Where is it? I think it's that, and let's open it up. Yeah, import. And yeah, whatever. All right, let's open open up the chat once again. Zinc says, you create a mind map and afterwards you create a gray box. After that you create a prototype for your game, and after that you have finished product somewhere along, but I created in small steps or the math is going to be overwhelming. Yeah, that's the best approach, really. Small steps. You cannot attempt everything at the same moment. Like, no. So, yeah, folks do like Zinx does, right? Small steps all the way. Yeah, I'm trying to do the same here on streams, like small steps, because I'm also kind of tired of all the tutorials and live streams where people are mostly pretending that they are doing these giant steps, when I have a feeling that they prepared the stream beforehand and they're kind of only pretending that they are figuring out things on stream and that it takes them seconds, and meanwhile everyone who's watching it are getting frustrated because that's not how the real life works, right? You're spending a lot of time trying to figure out things and failing and learning from that, and watching those kind of streams can make you feel insecure and you'll start to feel like you're not great, right? And that's not true. You are great. It's just those guys are posers and fakers and I have beef with them. So there are a couple of guys that are actually showing off the struggle, and I really love that shit, because that's how actually real life development works, and I big up props to them. Like, for example, Prismatica Dev. Sometimes on stream he just struggles with one thing for 3 hours, and that's how it works on the day job. That's exactly how it works everywhere. You can pick a company, Valve, Naughty Dog, they are going through the same exact process of like, fuck, I want to make it work and it doesn't. And a struggle happens, right? So yeah, Prismatica Dev, for example, is also amazing. Zink says, they always prepare beforehand, so don't even create it themselves or copy the steps and glue them together. Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that preparation. If I feel like if a streamer up front says like, yeah, I prepared all of this so I can present it in the best way possible, that's fine. I have a problem if someone pretends that they are geniuses in front of camera and are only trying to make themselves feel better and make everyone else around them feel worse. Like, that's something that I have a problem with. If someone prepares and they are saying, yeah, I prepared, so, you know, presentation will go smoothly, then that's fine, right? But if someone is posing, that's bad for everyone. Yeah. So I have this project opened up. Let's actually play. Immediately it fucking doesn't work. And it goes to like lots of stuff. I don't think it can run actually. I think there are like errors with this project that makes it not run, right? Or no, it actually, we went through all the things, but it's work in progress, etc. I don't expect it to like work immediately. There's like lots of stuff in here, like combat, etc. Like, but I only want to take a peek how things are being actually assembled, right? I don't actually need to play this game, right? Zink says, no, I think that is somewhere bad or even worse. I mean the part copy and glue together. Ah, yes, copy and glue together. If you ask them something, they can't even explain what they created. Yes, of course. Yeah. Let's divide those two things. Like preparation for the presentation and explicitly saying that, hey, this is a presentation. I'm not pretending that I'm figuring things out live. That's okay if someone does the preparation but then pretends that they are doing it live and they are geniuses. I hate this. I beef with that kind of approach. And yes, I forgot to address what you're saying. Yes, that copying, pasting, gluing things together, they work, but they don't even know why. Yeah, this is actually even fucking worse, because it might work only by accident. They don't know how it works. They cannot explain how it works. and someone might actually learn a bad approach to something, and it might lead them astray, and that's bad. That's bad. I'd rather on my own do something very slowly. It might take more hours, right? It might not be flashy in presentation on here while doing all of these things live. It's not as flashy or cool or I don't know TikTok worthy or anything, but at least I fucking know what I'm doing and I can explain it, and anyone who watches it, they can be like, oh yes, there was a struggle for X amount of hours, but at the end we arrived at something. We know why it didn't work, why it works now. It's replicable, etc., etc. Like, yeah, I agree with you, Zinx, wholeheartedly. Okay, so we got yeah, because it's not a 3D scene, it's 2D scene, of course. Like we got this whole like RPG, whatever, blah blah blah. There's thief, and it is t.tscn. Okay. Let's open this up as a scene. Open an editor. What is this? This is like an open script. Children are not selectable, etc. Like, okay. It is like a game piece. That's exactly what I want. Like, I can see, okay, this is a thief. They create like a game piece, which kind of looks like a pawn in Unreal Engine. How does that, all of that work? Like, there's like a game piece.gd. And there's like this whole scene called game piece, and from what I understand, there is like a sub resources script animation scene. Okay, we will be taking a peek at it in a second, because that might provide an answer for my stuff, right? How I can do the same thing, treat the obstacle as the base node that I can derive from, or something like this. Like I have a player here and it contains a lot of stuff and I can put it on level, etc., etc. Like, I want to start assemble stuff, right? Zinc says, it is not only that it leads them astray. People who try to learn game development are going to develop this mindset and create something that is going to work for them, but maybe not for all of the other users or customers. Yes, exactly. It is about this mindset of development where you are gluing things together, etc. Yeah, I agree. This is dangerous, and it also might create, on the gamer side of things, games that will not run correctly on your machines. There will be a lot of crashes. It might not run optimal because it was basically cobbled up together with the duct tape and no one even knows how to fix it, right? So even on the end user gamer perspective, when you buy a game and it is being made by assembling things without knowing how they work, this is how it might turn out. Yeah 100% agreed. Okay, and now Thief, it's like a game piece. Okay, so it's like done differently. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this, if I understand this. Like, there's a basic game piece, right? We can open up the script. This is a tool. Make the current script as a tool script, allowing it to be loaded and executed by the editor. Game piece is a scene that moves about and is snapped to the game board. Game pieces, like other scenes in Godot, are expected to be composed from other nodes. An AI, a collision shape, blah blah blah. Game pieces themselves are dumb objects that do nothing but occupy and move about the game board. Yeah, so it is like a basic fucking building block that they created, right? They created a couple of signals, lots of script, right? Okay, that's good, that's good. And that's good. But what happens here in main scene? Actually, we see that Thief is not like, if I understand it correctly, Thief is not like its own scene type, I would say, right? It is game piece that was actually, it is an instance of a game piece that has everything fully kind of implemented, right? It has an interaction pop-up. Somewhere in here, probably the visualization is hidden or something. I hope at least. Where the thief is. Can you show me the thief on the screen? Like, can I click on things? This is like a combat, description, yada yada. So the thief, runner, there is like a runner, and it is also like an instance of a game piece. Is that how they are going to... Is this how it's supposed to kinda work? Game board layer, game pieces, house is a node to be assembled. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of this, so maybe I should figure out some other way of composing things. I'll be honest. Player is also a game piece. That is interesting. And animation scene, curve, and where's the script? Actual script for the player. Open in editor. No, it's still... There's no such thing as player in here. So how the player gets inputs, for example. That's a mystery. Zing says, I'm curious, are you going to try out UE6, the verse coding for the game development? Eventually, yeah. Eventually, yeah, I will try that. Eventually, I will try that, and I already kind of took a peek into like how verse looks. It is very, how to say it, a product of its own, right? Like, it looks nothing like any other script that or code or whatever that you would see typically in the engine. It is transactional, it is functional, more resembling of like Python connected with Haskell, connected with some additional stuff, right? It is very unusual, and as of now, I don't really understand how you can make games beyond the experiences that people are creating for Fortnite. So I'm patiently waiting until Unreal Engine 6 actually drops in the early access version, right? We'll see how it looks. But the thing that I'm not a fan of is that the whole C++ gameplay framework is going out the window with that. Not at first. At first, actors will be there, blueprints will be there, and everything. But eventually, everything that, you know, all of the C++ gameplay programmers, me included, learn is throwing out the window. C++ is staying in the engine, but for low-level things, rendering, memory management, physics, etc., etc. But from what I understand, it's not going to be like with blueprints that you're creating base class in C++ and then in the verse you're doing things there. It's more like in verse you can create a base native class, and then you can make C++ code that inherits from verse. Like, it's all weird, and I need to see it with my own hands, and I will see it with my own hands. So, yeah. Once the UE6 will drop in the early access, I will do it. I know that I can download the source code for it now off of GitHub and compile it, but seeing on Unreal Slackers, right now called Unreal Source, Discord, it seems that it basically almost doesn't work, right? So I don't want to waste my time with it. I'm only seeing like how people are diving through it, like for example looking at the verse virtual machine, and that there is like a lot of pieces missing there. Like for example, if you drop the lights on the scene graph in Unreal Engine 6, it actually spawns actors beneath everything, right? So it's like, okay, so it's very much work in progress. Zink says, because my guess it is character GD. Oh, character GD. Oh, okay. I haven't noticed it. Thank you, Zing. It extends dialogic identifiable resource.gd. Okay, it creates a lot of stuff, etc. Okay, so there's like this character script, and here is where probably inputs are getting taken into the place or not. Property translated, get character name, lots of stuff connected to like displaying of the character. So that's what the character might be. Here, character resource loader. Subsystem event. Oh, they have subsystems. Makes sense, dialogic subsystem. Huh. They have something called subsystems. I want to open up this scene. I cannot. Open scene. Oh, I have it. Right, 2D. There's like a monk. Nice pixel monk, right? And he has a script. No, he hasn't. Yeah, that's like what I'm wondering. Like, how do you assemble all of these things? Because without that, I mean, I could move forward and just start implementing things for the fuck of it, right? Do a shorthand, but that's not what I'm evaluating here, right? Like, I'm evaluating for my friend and me how we could build the whole game with it, right? Compared to Unreal Engine 5. So that's why I'm spending time like figuring out this basic shit, how to do, right? Like I have basic obstacle and now I want to create specialized implementations of it, right? And how you do it in Godot. I understand that it's like the Godot doesn't have like a hard approach to it. It's more like, hey, you can set it up whatever the fuck way you want. Versus like Unreal, where it's like, no, you're using Unreal 5. You're using actors and here's how you do it. And Unreal 6 will be like, hey, here's the scene graph, here's how you do it, right? Here it is more open-ended, from what I understand. But I wanted to see like an example. And I kind of see that there's like characters, there's a scene of character, right? It is assembled. It has a monk.gfx. If we open up the script, it has a script of game piece animation, which, as I understand it, deals with animation, etc. That's great. It has anchor. It has all the things that I would expect. And so the script actually is game piece animation. And the scene is being created in that way. Inherits game piece animation. So let's chase the game piece animation then. Game piece animation, right? It is the basic building block of it. So the way it works, from what I understand, is we have this 2D thing, right? It contains animation player and all the things that it wants to contain, and it has game piece animation script, right? So that's how it works. They are all connected to the same script, basic script. And there's the scene, but how the hell do you create the scene that inherits the game piece animation? Or it's like an instance of a game piece animation? No, it is not an instance. It is like a packed scene, from what I see, right? If I open this, it shows this character animation, right? But I have a scene that is called Monk GFX. And it is of type game piece animation. This is the type game piece animation. And it is named tool. And I can specify the icon. Is that what I'm supposed to do to make this, to make my obstacle scene be extendable? Okay, open up script. Is that what I have to do? No, not really, because it's just that. I'm dumb. New inherited scene. That's how you do it. You cannot, but it's weird that I cannot select, like, hey, I want to create root node. Okay. It's just me not understanding really the Godot. Okay, so you have to click like this, new inherited scene. And I have like a new uninherited scene. the thing is constantly going forward. Because it simulates an editor. So actually I should not make it a tool, because then the tick runs in the editor. That's something to be learned, right? Alright. And the transform is probably already fucked up. No, it isn't. But actually, what the fuck? Why is it moving like this? What's going on? Shouldn't the whole node 3D be moving? Because it kind of looks like... It looks weird. I did something weird. Okay, but at least I can right now change things about it, right? Can I save scene as, and I can name it like point, right? Coin, right? Okay, and I don't know why it is like that. What do I have to do to... I need to make it 0, 0. And I think I assembled all of this wrong, that in the sense that script should be on node 3D, on my root node, not on subnode, I guess. But will the signal from collision shape, like, So it extends area 3D, right? Because I wanna do all this stuff. Okay. So now I actually have specialized inherited scene. Okay, so it just works with inheritance as usual. So it wasn't just me trying to force OOP, object-oriented programming. It actually works like this. But what's the difference between new inherited scene and instantiate? Let's click instantiate, right? Cannot instantiate the scene because the current scene exists within one of its nodes. Okay, so some level. And if I click instantiate right now, it adds it to the scene. Okay. It immediately adds it to the scene. Okay, why it's not really named obstacle? I don't know. Okay, so the difference is that it creates an instance in the level, right? But I need to select the root, click instantiate, and it will create instance of it, but it will name it node 3D. All right. Delete. So I have to rename this obstacle, and then it will, if I click obstacle PS scene, instantiate, it will, okay, name it like this. Okay, so I'm learning UX right now, which is important. I'm learning new technology. Okay, so now I get it more, right? But it's great that I have OpenRPG from the GD Quest here, because I will be studying it for sure. How they set up everything, especially those subsystems I'm interested in, because it's like, this is a subsystem. I wonder, can I view like, there's one in Unreal Engine 5, I need to add it to the table to research later. Resource viewer. And send one table. Resource dependency view. In Unreal Engine 5 it is called resource viewer, if I remember correctly. Basically, in Unreal Engine you can click on any asset, right click it and select like to show the dependencies between this resource and other resources, and you can quickly see where it was attached to what. And I wonder if Godot has something like this, because what I would love to do right now is click on subsystem jump. This is emitted from the jump event. There's like some scripting going on, right? And I would love to be like, hey, show in file system, and it will show me here. But okay, I want to see like all the dependencies connected to the subsystem, right? Is there something like this in Godot? I don't know, so let me search for it actually. Godot resource dependency viewer. Scene dependency viewer. Dependency graph generator. I guess there isn't something like this natively in Godot. It creates like this kind of output. It's not exactly what I want. Scene dependency viewer. Visualize project dependencies, find broken references, etc. Oh, that's great actually. Dependency tree. Reverse dependencies, broken. That's exactly what I kind of want. Does this slow down the editor? No. Does it work with import files? Can I use this in CI automation, etc., etc.? Great. I want to add it to the project. Oh, that's the thing. I never really added an extension or a plugin. So let's do it. There's 4.8 already? I downloaded 4.7? Wait, what? Really? Somehow I missed the 4.8? No, download latest 4.7. So 4.8 dev snapshot. Oh. Okay. Okay, lots of new added stuff. But it's in development. Okay, but I guess that guy is already prepared for that. Do they have link to GitHub or something? No, not really. I need to log in. I don't have an account with Godot. I didn't know that you have to have it. By Meshlab. I wonder what other things they created. But yeah, let's download that. I have no idea how to add this kind of stuff to your project. So this will be fun. Zink says, you said that you are two people who learn Godot, or are you the main person for Godot, and what does the other one do? Design and illustration? Yes, so me and my friend, we are teaming up to make a game. And right now, both of us are basically evaluating Godot, right? Whether it will be a good engine for our game, because we started doing an MVP of an MVP, I would call it, an MVP square in Unreal Engine 5. But the question arose, like maybe because it is on the 3D rendering side of things, on the scripting side of things, it is a game that does not need a lot of featuring of Unreal Engine 5 to be released, right? And actually we are aiming to release it on low spec devices. So Godot might be the answer actually, right? And we are evaluating, and in Unreal Engine 5, actually my friend on the day job, he works as a director, but he is a designer by heart, right? But he wanted to learn about scripting, gameplay programming, etc. So, for example, our MVP of an MVP, MVP square, minimum viable product, he scripted. He scripted in blueprints, he wanted to learn how to do this, etc. So at the beginning, the idea was that he will be creating gameplay scripts for our prototypes, so he can, you know, develop his skills in that and strengthen himself in that way, right? Get more into this gameplay, into the programmer mindset, right? Meanwhile, I would be reviewing all of those blueprint scripts. Maybe we would pick up a little bit of C++ for him and reviewing that, right? Meanwhile, I would be setting up things that I knew that would be important for the game to feature, right? For example, blueprint scripting doesn't have access to something that in Unreal is being called subsystem, right? Which is an awesome tool, and I cannot imagine myself shipping a game without using it. So my part was to create a plugin that would expose subsystems to my friend. So I could imagine I would also be gameplay scripting and gameplay coding, but at first my role would be to like prepare the engine for and create all the plugins, etc., and review and guide my designer friend through the journey of learning how to script, how to create systems, etc., 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 how to deal with data, how not to hack things around, but more think about in the systemic way about stuff. That's kind of a way of thinking. And my friend is a designer. He came up with the great gameplay idea for the game. But when it comes to like, putting ideas, directions, etc., it would fall on both of us. It's just two of us, so it's very collaborative process, right? And when it comes to graphics, well, we don't have those right now. The only thing that we do have is, let me show you. In Unreal Engine 5, I created a post process with Graham that showed up in here. That the aim would be for it to look like someone drew something in a classroom on a graph paper and created a flip book out of it, right? And let me show you in the real time, maybe, or maybe later. But basically, graphically, it will be very simple. So we hope to achieve most of the graphics by our own means. If not, we would be contacting our artist friends to help us with, and hopefully cobble up some budget together. But for now, it's only two of us, and we are both scripting and designing things. Zinx asks, why did you choose Godot? There are actually engines like Firefox, Stride, O3DE, but I never tried them. I looked them up. Those have a visual editor. You don't want to first code and see. And then see. Why Godot? Actually, it's mostly like a word of mouth kind of thing. Like some of my friends that used it and shipped game with, when talking about like making this small indie game, and hearing that we are doing it in Unreal, etc., they felt like, well, you can do it, but it's kind of like going with bazooka and shooting at the end, right? And they were like, hey, try out Godot. Maybe it will work out for you. And at the first I was like, yeah, but I know Unreal Engine 5. I know gameplay ability system like the back of my hand. So it felt like using Unreal would be a big shortcut for us, because at the day job I work with the Unreal for the last what year is it? No, 7 years. For the last 7 years. So it felt like, okay, we can quickly do things, right? My friend will be learning Unreal Engine 5, so it will be good for him because we felt like this is the future. I already know Unreal Engine 5 and gameplay capabilities, but there are still things that I don't know about that I want to learn about, like post-process materials, etc. So it felt like a natural fit for us. But then Unreal Engine 6 showed up and basically said, well, everything you know about making gameplay will at some point in Unreal Engine 6 be worthless, basically. Like none of that applies, right? So we were like, so all of the learning that we would do would come to naught. So it will be not needed. Like, so we kind of didn't know what to do, and it seems like actually the way the Godot works on the gameplay side of things might be more similar to how Unreal Engine 6 might work versus UE5 and UE6. It's all weird, but we basically want to try it out and see, what happens. Zinc says, go with the flow, something like that. Yeah, like we just want to establish if it will be a good idea. If after the process of careful evaluation we will decide like, yeah, Godot is fine, but we will ship it faster with Unreal Engine 5, even though the optimization part will be more hardcore for low spec devices, because we will be turning a lot of things off in Unreal Engine 5, and we will have to optimize like a motherfucker. to make it run on low spec devices, right? But we might be faster with that. Yeah, so that's why Godot. I also wanted to take a look at Raylib. Yeah, and also Godot kinda was proven by other developers releasing games with it. The biggest example as of late was Slay the Spire 2, of course. So yeah, it was mostly word of mouth, positive word of mouth. Zinc says optimization is the A and O for everything. If it has on shipment day bugs and glitches, you are through. Yep, exactly. Like, of course, even if we would ship on Godot, still we would have to optimize the fuck out of things. And for sure, we wouldn't be using the, packaged build from the website. I would be taking the source code and compiling it myself because, we could, I don't feel comfortable not having access to source code. That's, for example, why Unity is off the list for me. Because I cannot imagine myself seeing like something not running optimal and not peek behind the curtain why it is not optimal and not having the ability to possibly fix it, right? For Unreal and Godot, I have this ability. For the engines that you mentioned, I think 2. And Raylib as well, I think. But Unity, for example, doesn't have this ability, so no. Zinc says Raylib is code first and C after. That's what I hear. Unity is a sneaky little bitch. I hate that company. Yeah. After that debacle with licenses, I don't trust them at all. It's like, I don't believe them to learn on that example. It's like, nah, they want to maximize the profits. They will figure something out to fuck the developers over. They do, as an engine on its own, they do have some couple of cool things. But business side of things, no, I don't like it. And lack of the, source code. Like, I cannot look to the source code for virtual machine of the Unity, if I remember correctly. None of the implementations. So for me, it's like, okay, for game jam, I might use this, but not for like shipping. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. So that's why Godot, right? And yeah, we want to like evaluate Godot over the summer period, extending, I think, up to the end of the September. We'll see if we have enough data to actually say anything about that. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. I figured out the inheritance, how to make it work. So I have the coin in here. I probably attached the script wrong. But yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I wanted to extend Area 3D because, and the only reason why I actually but I think I created the whole obstacle wrong right now, I'm thinking. Because I created like an empty node 3D scene at the beginning where I could have made the area 3D new root. Make scene root. Can I like reparent it? Like make scene root? I can. The obstacle that was actually empty, can I delete it? I can. And can I go like obstacle? I can. And how did it affect the coin? It did. I think that makes more sense. And let's see if I destroyed my game. No, it still worked. And why am I doing this? Mostly because when I put underscore add tool in here, right? The tick started working within the editor. And I started to see that, hey, something weird is happening. Like the shape of the collision or something started extending along with the area 3D object moving the fuck away, right? And it just seemed like an error. Like suddenly you have this big ass scene that is extending until, you know, it fucking dies, right? Or creates like memory overflow or whatever, right? And this way it actually should work correctly. So if I save it, I put in some level, 3D preview, I see it works correctly. I can select it. None of the weird ass extension of the whole fucking scene. But actually I don't want it to be simulated in here. Yeah, so let's get back to this scene. And how about we put it and it still simulates? What the hell? Script, save. It should be not moving anymore. Why is it still moving when I delete the tool out of it? No, it's not. Virtual machine No, what the fuck? No! Don't run away! I deleted the tool out of it. Please stop. What the hell? No! Oh, I fucked something up. It might be the case that I need to reload scene or something, or reload the editor, but it would be weird. Let's see what I managed to destroy. Okay, it's not moving anymore. I needed to reload the editor, but I'm surprised that I had to. I am surprised that I had to. Let's move it in the z-axis, actually forward, right? All right, so what we'll be doing right now, I created a coin. The coin will have a different graphical representation in a second. And it will call... Yeah, I want to change the way one function works. Let me get back to the chat. Zink says, I tried Raylib. It is nice, but to create a full game, you need at least 2 to 4 programmers. Otherwise, you're going to be overwhelmed by everything you need to create. The point in Raylib is C++ and memory management. Oh yeah. That's kind of what I gathered, but a lot of people are saying that Raylib is kind of like, for programmers, it's like, finally, I can just start writing, and you can use C++, C, whatever. Like it feels freeing after Unreal Engine, Unity, and Godot. Like a lot of people are liking it, just not maybe for like making a game and to release it at Steam, but just, you know, like passion projects, like coding on the side, etc. That it feels kind of like nice. So this year probably not, but maybe next year I will try to do like some Raylib streams when I will be seeing what's going on there, right? Just for the fun of it, right? Because why not? Zink says that is funny. Yeah, the thing was escaping me. But I still don't understand why deleting the add tool this time didn't stop the tick of the obstacle moving in the 3D space. Previously it did, but it's just some editor bug, I guess. Or I did something wrong. Alright, so I do have some coin scene, right? I want to change the visualization of it. So mesh instance 3D. Let's change it into... torus. Yeah, it can be freaking torus, and I can just rotate it. Where's the transform? Or I can just rotate it like this. Actually, I would love to add another scripting tool. So it would rotate, but not as the animation in 3D, but more rotate around the y-axis, and but only the mesh instance. I only want to rotate the mesh instance, not the whole freaking collision, right? Zink says that is the hype for Raylib, but in the beginning, most of them are blindsided after they go over 1,000 lines in a modular design. That can be, yeah, I can see that. Zink says, I think the game did not detach from the editor. Oh. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. It could have been that. It could have been that. Yeah, let's add a quick script. Can I add a quick script like from here? Sub resources, mesh, surface material override. Yeah, touch some script. Coin animation. I'm not sure if that's how you should do it. More probably I should create like the library of basic like animation scripts, like hey, rotate in all these axi, and then I should like, or maybe there already exists like a rotator, a child node. No. Yeah, so I could probably like create a rotator script which would rotate along each axis, and you could like build a reusable script basically for everything. There's one thing. If I need a mesh to have lots of different, like I want to attach lots of different scripts to it, can I do it? Like how the hell do you do this? There's only one script per scene node, right? So if I, for example, from the coin perspective, actually I want to do different things with different scene nodes inside of this whole scene. How do I do this? This is something that we would search right now, because I'm curious about it. It also speaks to like how you can assemble pieces together. Because in Unreal Engine 5, you just have components, so when you have an actor, you're adding components to it, and they are responsible for functionalities. You have blueprint script. Of course, you have main actor code. You can try to search for components to work on them, or if you created them in script, you can in code. Sorry, you have a pointer to them, right? Etc. 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 So you have that way. But what if I want to? First of all, I want to have coin script in here, right? So it will be using coin script. It's the same as obstacle, right? But it has a different. It will have a different code for this. It will still be moving toward my player. Yeah, actually, let's test that first. On the UX side of things, what I realized, like managing the scenes is kind of a little bit annoying, I have to say. What I would love to have, it's like 2 viewports, and for example, this viewport, I would love to view the obstacle, but I don't think I can do something like this. Right? Can I? At least I don't know how to make it. Yeah, like the view is on one scene. Like I would love to view a couple of scenes together and maybe script as a separate window. But if we will follow through with the Godot, I will be using Rider to edit everything anyway. So that's not a problem, but like trying to preview a couple of different scenes at the same time would be cool. Yeah, it just would be cool, right? Zinc says, you can have a 4 viewport or not. Yes, I can have a 4 viewport, but each one of those viewports, from what I see, some scary noises coming off from the kitchen. If you heard that, I'm sorry. I don't think I can switch the scene to, for example, view the obstacle, my obstacle or coin, right? Cinematic preview audio listen on half resolution. Actually, let's Google that. Let's Google that. Let's Google this thing right quick. So like Godot multiple scene viewports. Okay, I got try another. Viewing different scenes at the same time. To view different scenes at the same time. Subview port nodes. What? Adding a subview container and subview, instantiating your separate scenes as children of the own world 3D if running separate. That's some weird as shit. Can't I just click? Oh, and I wanted to see built-in resources. I downloaded the plugin and haven't used it. Okay. I'm getting chaotic in here. I might need a break to gather my mind real quick. But let's quickly see this thing. Okay, I don't want to have audio. Ah, okay. It's like creating viewport of another scene inside of the existing scene. But that's kind of like you want to, for example, have security camera in your game or whatever. That's what it is for. But that's not exactly what I... That's not what I'm going for. That's using viewport. That's not exactly what... Yeah. That's not how I wanna... No. Oh wait, I think I closed too many. Okay, let's Google one more time. Godot viewing multiple scenes in editor at the same time. The native Godot editor does not support viewing or editing multiple scenes simultaneously in a separate viewport tabs. Users must switch between really quick open scene tabs at the top of the main viewport to quickly instant sub access clapperboard. Really? Oh man. Multiple coding screen. Support for multiple screens. Okay, so I guess they don't support it. Not a way to open multiple docs. Okay, multiple coding resource. Question. No, it is not possible. Support for multiple screen, split screen. Okay, so it's not being supported natively. All right. So I can create like a 4 perspectives inside of this thing, and maybe I could edit a scene inside of this and click something to propagate my changes to the original scene, but I hate this workflow. It reeks of like Unity. Zink says you have a main scene view and sub scenes, but you can't have 2 scenes combined because there are 2 different files. How it looks like. Yeah, that's... Try F6 while in the game, then you can switch from game to scene and modify it on the fly. Your game editor. Oh yeah, because it's the run current scene, so I could go like into the coin, or I can have like some... No. Yeah, I can do something like this, right? Bad attempt. Something like this, right? And then I can preview coin here, and I can do something like this. But I would love to edit in here. Kind of like in Unreal Editor, when you open up the actor, it creates like a actor editor, and there's like a viewport in there when you can work with, right? And you can do things on level and in the actor. I wonder how they will do it for actually scene graph, because the scene graph in Unreal Engine 6 is basically this, right? The scenes in here, it is very similar. So I wonder how they will approach that. I wonder if someone created like a fork where you can do this actually. I think I remember seeing some post about that, but yeah, okay. Fuck it. So what I right now am trying to do is, apart from taking a quick break, 5-minute break in a second, from this script of a coin, right? Actually, one viewport. I want to have one viewport, and let's instantiate the coin and put it in here, right? And coins should also be moving towards me, right? I can make the speed even slower, right? Great. So everything is the same, but I want to, that's the thing. From the GD script, do I have access to mesh instance 3D? Because I would want to rotate mesh instance 3D, not the whole collision, but only mesh instance. Why? I could rotate the whole object right now, right? And with it, the collision, etc. And it would be actually a great idea. I could increase the collision shape to be like the big box, etc. But why waste time with rotating the collision that I will adjust in a second, when I can just have a static box moving towards me, not rotate anything, and only rotate the visual part, right? It's a waste of, like, think about it that way. And things, for sure, you will also have the same thing in your engine. We have something attached to something attached to something. This rotation would have to propagate to each and every 3D node scene in this. This is... it costs a lot of calculation, right? For example, famously, Unreal Engine has this exact problem. If you have an actor and a child actor and things, you know, attached to it in that way, suddenly calculation of the transformation is super expensive, to such point that the community came up with the way of editing the engine so it would be way faster to propagate the change of transform towards this whole fucking tree of attachments, right? So it always costs a lot. Of course, these are like free attachments, so it probably costs nothing, right? But not nothing, but for this game it would not, I could not be concerned with. But imagine a game when suddenly there's lots of more objects attached to each other, nested within each other, etc, etc. Would you want to program everything, be like, ah, fuck it, the virtual machine will figure it out, and then profiling and being like, oh shit, actually just transforming the 3D objects on scene costs a lot because everything is attached and nested, and now I have to change all of my scripts? Or would you rather upfront be like, no, none of this rotates, only the visual part, right? If I know that there is like this paradigm that is being sold online, and the universities don't optimize too early, right? Because it's a waste of time, and I guess it comes from like business and web development, but I kind of disagree with it. It's like, hey, I see an obvious gain right now. I can only rotate one thing. Why should I ignore it for the speed? And actually it wouldn't be a speed of development, because the script would be the same. It just would be attached in a different place, or different thing would be rotating, right? Would be affected. So I see no reason why not optimize certain things early. If you know how to do it, you see the gain, and it wouldn't be like a big slowdown to your work. Why not, right? Name Gaming 08033 says Road to Vostok was made in Godot. Hi, first of all, hi. Second of all, for real? Holy shit, I was listening to NoClip Crewcast, the podcast from NoClip crew, Danny O'Dwyer and them, and they were talking about Road to Vostok, and actually I was hyped about this, and it was made in Godot? What? If you don't know Road to Vostok, let's quickly show you this. And they jumped from Unity to Godot. Thank you, Name Gaming 8033, for that piece of knowledge. Yeah, I can show this even Polish thing. Let me turn off the subtitles. this was made in Godot. And this game is kinda... let's take a peek at DB. If I remember... What the fuck is this? SteamDB.com. Wait a minute. SteamDB info, did I... Oh yeah, I fucked up. And if we search road to Vostok. Currently, starts. Look at that. Wow. That's nice. That's really nice. Peak 3 months ago. Yeah, that's nice. Look at that. This game was being made in Godot. That's actually good. Lots of functionalities to make this game. Thank you for that piece of knowledge. I need to track, like, did they publish their development journey with Godot? Like, what were the problems that they faced? What were the things that were actually cool? How did they actually build this world? They had to use, like, some PCG for it, right? Like, did they use Houdini? Did they write their own tool? I know that there is, I have it written down, that someone recreated, like, parts of procedural content generation for, yeah, Proton Scanner and PCG Godot. That is a fun project that I also intend to check out at some point. Node-based PCG in Godot. Yeah, like, I'm really curious about that. Let me close a couple of those things. Independencies, I'm gonna... Asset audit, ooh, also something to... That's nice, that's nice. Zing says, the creator of this game, if I'm correct, and I'm not certain, that either switched from Unity because of the price debacle. Yeah, there was like this quick post that showed up in Google that switching from Unity to Godot, and like a quick summary that it was because of what the fuck Unity did, right? And I'm not surprised, and I think more devs probably should do this because it's really, really fucked up. Okay, that's nice to know. Let me actually write down the note for me to... Road to Vostok, look at GameDev journal from Godot perspective. That's nice. And also, while we at it, Zink says, I looked it up, and yes, he switched in 2023 from Unity to Godot. Sure. So 3 years, and right now they are where they are. Nice. Godot is open source, so you can manipulate many things. Like there's a new game coming out called Breaking Bad. Let's take a peek. Let's take a quick peek. No, Breaking Bad, you... Baking Bad, oh. So this game is in Godot, right? Oh, mostly negative. Oops. Wonder what they did to piss off people that much. But it looks nice, actually. Just from the, you know, this video up in here. What people are saying. I have to log to view it. Yeah, I think more and more people would be jumping from Unity to Godot because of that debacle, and I think because of Unreal Engine 6 and the way they are kind of basically saying to all the people that learned Unreal Engine 5 that, yeah, all of that workflow is gone, right? people might be either staying on Unreal Engine 5 and not jumping to Unreal Engine 6. Some people, and this is like a bigger group, are going back to Unreal Engine 4 actually for the optimization's sake, right? And some people might be switching from Godot from Unreal Engine because all the graphical bells and whistles, right? It's fine. Like back in the era when graphics were constantly improving, the GPUs were coming out, they were affordable, etc, etc. Right now we are not in this world. We don't know if we will ever go back to this world. So chasing the highest graphical fidelity when not everyone are able to afford the GPUs that are able to do this, and also all the graphical bells and whistles don't mean jack shit if the gameplay sucks. It's like I see indie developers and some AA developers be like, okay, game has to have a style to it, but the gameplay is king, right? Which is something that AAA is still missing, but you know. Zink says, it took him around 4 months to transition from Unity to Godot, but he was stressed because he relied too much on the Unity system, but after all that, he was happy. Oh, nice to hear, nice to hear. I wish them like all the best. Zinks 2088 says, you are from Poland? Do you know the song Polish Cow? I think I know what you're referring to. I think you are referring to this, which I know under Cipis. I cannot play this because probably stupid DMCA claims will fucking kill this shit, but yeah, I'm aware. And this song, translated in Polish, is not a happy song. It's about being addicted to drugs. Let me take a quick pic. Yep. I know this song. Yep. I know this. Name Gaming says, 8033 says, the developers of Baking Bad combined Blender and Godot. Oh, yeah, actually when I was thinking about, you know, if we would decide on this engine, then Blender, like on the day job at Unreal Engine 5, I have no use for Blender, right? Mostly because I work as a C++ gameplay programmer, but here, yeah, we would also be combining Blender somehow with this. Zink says, the song is chill. I heard it with coworkers when I worked as an electrician. Yeah, because from the beat alone, it sounds very like chill. The flow is very chill and woo, party. And I remember there was, when this was blowing up during COVID time, especially, it was blowing up. People were like, oh yeah, funky cow. And us Polish people were like, oh shit, but actually the lyrics are depressing as fuck. So it's like this funny, like, how to say it? Funny contrast between like the vibe of the song and the actual Polish meaning behind it. It is very funny. Yeah, but with the gram, even I understood it. Yeah. Yeah. But it's one of these songs that you can put on repeat, put on loop while you're working, and it can repeat constantly, and it will be a nice background song, right? It will not annoy you, it will not distract you too much. And the guy that made it made big bucks with this song. Let me tell you that. And kudos to him for that. Okay, so let's say I want to have access to mesh instance. I think I remember someone doing that in the other example project. Let me quickly turn this other project. I think it might be that project. Yeah, like if anyone would be open anyway. Wondering why am I not using tutorials or things like this? It's like I generally don't like tutorials. Period. I rather open up the project that already exists and see how someone did something. Try to break it maybe, or try to see if I can reassemble it in my own project. Stumble upon all the roadblocks and figure out whether it is a good way of doing things for my purposes, right? Name Gaming 8033 asks, have you ever won a game jam? No, but we got, how you say it? Basically, a prize for the best interpretation of a theme. We didn't win outright, but we were given that. And from what we heard, we were so close to winning. It was in 2014, I think, or 15. It was. I don't remember. It might have been a game jam that was attached to like a bigger game jam, but we were running at my university. The student club that I was attending called Polygon, which is a student club that was like basically for people that were interested in game development or already were game developers, and like it was big on knowledge sharing, and they were running a site for a game jam during like holiday break, and they have connection to the Polish indie game developer Sosowski behind MacPixel, and he sent the prompt for us in 2014 or 15 that was like, why aren't there fish in space? That was like the question as a prompt, and we were supposed to make a game with that. And I was beginning to learn game development. We used Unity for that because back then Godot was basically like a curious novelty that no one was really, at least at university, using. Unreal Engine 4 either was just before opening up or just opened up, and Unity was the thing to use, right, for game jams. And I paired up with random guy. I came there like, I don't know, I either will be doing things solo or I will pair up with someone. And our interpretation was we created the weirdest game when you were steering a fish in the 2D space, in the outer space, and you were swallowing first, eating like the space trash, then moons, then you were constantly growing, eating planets, and at the end you ate the sun. And then it turned out that actually the fish was dreaming because it was about to be killed for the Christmas dish. And people said that this is like a stupid ass dark joke. But interpretation, that was the most out of the left field, and we were given the prize for that. Zink says, reverse engineer it, this is the best way from my point of view. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'd rather open up the project, see how someone did something, and then reverse engineer, or like even watch someone do something on stream, and then like, oh, okay, let me try my hand at it. Like, that's why I'm doing it that way. So it was simple navigation agent, and I think it was done in that way, like on ready var nav agent navigation 3D, and you're searching for navigation agent, then node 3D model. I don't know what any of this means right now, but we will see. So if I understand correctly, I have to do it like this and name it like coin model, and it will be mesh instance 3D actually. Mesh instance 3D. I don't know what $model $sign model is yet, but I have a pretty good guess. Name Gaming 8033 says, you look like Theon from Game of Thrones. I haven't watched Game of Thrones. Let me take a quick peek at it. Who is that? Theon? Oh, that guy. I know the actor. I wanted to watch Game of Thrones. I was a late comer to it, but then the last season happened and everyone was shitting on it so hard and telling me, maybe it's not worth to watch, or if you watch, watch up until the last season and then, wait for the book eventually to come out, which I guess it never came out. So I remind you of this guy. Was he a bad guy, a good guy? All right, let's get back to that stuff. And yeah, so I have this $sign model, right? And I guess that's the way I can hook up my mesh instance, my one of the other nodes in my scene and start manipulating it. So if I understand it correct, I can go here and I cannot select. Why? Let me open up this project yet again. Ready? Required scene, blah, blah, blah. Are there any other like spring arm? Require spring arm. Okay, so if I take this player, right? GoBot. GoBot doesn't. I take the player, right? And okay, so it's just being named like that. Okay, so it is searching by name. So already it is creating basically a pointer, a reference to it, but it has to be named the same way. I can rename this thing into model. Why not? Because it is 3D model, right? And then it should kind of work. Wait, debugger screaming. Please resave the scene. Fact scene. I don't have idea what. Node not found. Mesh instance 3D relative. But I don't need to find any node. Like. Relative to coin. What do they mean? Name Gaming 83 says he was the unluckiest guy of the whole show. Oh no! Oh no! My guy! Shit! Unlucky in Game of Thrones probably mean that he didn't die. He actually lived through all the horrible stuff. Because dying is a mercy in this freaking universe. Zinx with the save. $sign model is a reference to get node model. Is a get node model. Okay, so it takes a reference. Okay. So it is the exact, if I understand this correctly, it's the exact same thing as if on for example, in here I would be like get node and type in model, right? This is the short basically for that, and put it into like var some model, and it will be mesh instance 3D, right? It is this kind of a shortcut, but not 5 minutes. Wait, what? Yeah, of course. The D is big. Get node not found at the base. Of course, because I'm typing with the stupid ass mental shortcuts, but it is the equivalent. Okay, so it is that thing. Okay, so now the only thing that I don't understand is like why save scene. Wait. Some weird shit happened in here. Okay. Now we're good. And I don't understand this error. Node not found. Mesh instance 3D relative to coin. But it is here. So why can't you not find it? Or is it not true that it... Debugger. Find implicit ready. Node not found. Relative. So for some reason, when on ready is being called in coin. Mark the property. The following property is assigned when the node is ready. Values for these properties are not assigned immediately when the node is initialized and instead are computed and stored right before node ready. So as I understand it, it should find this node, but it is saying that it is too early. You can't have 2 times model. You declared it 2 times in 2 different scenes. Try changing the names and the... I did it in the... Oh! Of course! I forgot that I did it here. Actually, I don't want it here. Now it will be correct, right? Yep. Thank you, Zinx. I completely forgot that I also did it in... yeah. Yeah, Wait, no, hold the fuck up. I fucked it up. Now I deleted the whole reference to model. So there is no model in here, no model in here, and no model in... There's only one model in coin. And how it will work right now? No, it's still... No, I have, at least as I understand it, I have only one reference to model like this. Or is it the fact that in the base scene I have it named model and it cannot be named... I guess I changed the name of the model in here. Okay, so we'll change... Oh, you cannot write a note. Zinc says a double conundrum. Just change the names and use them for the mesh and for the name. So it cannot be named like... I cannot use this. I thought that it was searching with that. I'm not sure if I understand this error. I feel like a Dumbo, of course. And right now I feel like my brain doesn't work. Which is indicator that half an hour ago I wanted to have a 5-minute break and I should have. Which means that I will do after I fix this error. Coin GD, yeah, online free. Yeah, I get it. Online free. Node not found model. Double conundrum, just change the names and use them. Can't you right click on model node on the left and change the name? In coin, I can't. Because it is the name of the basic of this. But I can be like model 3D and save that. And then I should, I guess, search for model 3D. Oh, and now it finds it. Oh, you know what? The error was different. Look at this. If I do it like this, it cannot find it. You know why? Because in the tree, right beneath the coin, it only has collision shape 3D. But on the same tree branch, it doesn't have model 3D. It is the branch beneath it. It is a leaf, right? In this node. So that's why you have to go like collision shape 3D, model 3D. Because it was just trying to find it in the immediate, you know, line. You need a path, how it looks like. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't like doing like a recursive search, like, okay, I hit the branching point, I'm going deeper. No, it doesn't do this automatically. Which I actually like. Because it forces me to understand my own structure that I created here. The tree, right? It forces me to not be like lazy and chaotic with it. Like, let me fucking blah, 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 and, you know. anything goes, right? It's like, no, it forces me to understand that. I like it because it means that by forcing me to understand the how I actually created the scene, and my brain doesn't want to remember like extremely complicated tree structure. It forces me to be clean with it. I love this shit. Freedom Deo, hi! How are you doing? Freedom Deo says, I'm using Godot, but I just realized I have to rewrite my entire backend from Python to Flutter Dart because it won't build to mobile with Python. Holy shit! Seems like a lot of work. Lot of work. But hey, then you know, at least you found a problem and you will be fixing this. Nah, it's AI doing it. It takes like 5 minutes. Okay. So how long have you been using Godot for? Because I'm just starting. This is my 3rd stream on that and learning. Zinc says, so theoretically you can try $, coin, collision shape 3D model in other files. Yeah, like for example, if I had the script attached to like my big level and I wanted to manage something with the coin, I could do exactly like what you're saying. Or I maybe like one of these objects could start searching through the root for this. Yeah, yeah, theoretically it could work. Freedom Dial says, couple weeks I made one finished game. Nice, using Godot and Flutter Dart. It's a chess game. I have GitHub. Nice. Godot is so insane, bro. Like, whoa, it's nice. You can do 3D, 2D, or just like GUIs or whatever. Insane good. So you like it, dude. So you like it, I take it, from your messages. Good to know. Right now, me and my buddy, we are evaluating whether to switch from UE5 to Godot because our game is so simple that it seems like UE5 might be a shot from a bazooka or Tsar Bomba on an ant, right? Yeah, build work easy. UE5 costs a lot of money. Not upfront, but later. If you know, like release the game and you make a buck, Epic takes a cut, right? So yeah, and a lot of money to develop, yeah, for sure, for budget. The reason why we wanted to use UE5 is because I have already been using it for 7 years. So I know some shortcuts and I know the gameplay portion really well. And my friend wanted to learn, but then the announcement of UE6 happened, which basically says, hey, gameplay framework, everything will be different. So it's like, might as well switch engine, right? Freedom Dao says, I'm open source, so I don't do UE5. That's good. That's wonderful. I will still charge money for game, but it's open source, but having open framework better. Yeah, open source is great. I always was curious about such a release idea that that a person could release their game for free, open source, and only have a donation button, and maybe even upload the game on torrent themselves, right, on torrent site. Read magnet links, etc., right? Seeds. And how many people would actually donate for such game release like that? Like, would it be viable that someone could be working on a game like that, and be able to pay bills and pay for food, etc.? I was always curious about this type of release strategy. Also, the AI is really good with the open source framework. It has the entire source engine, so it's just better. Oh yeah, it can learn. It can scan through the whole fucking open source work and understand it thoroughly. For sure. You wouldn't be able to do so with Unity, for example. Alright, so I can search for this like that, and in the process I can just take my mesh instance 3D, which I will rename like coin model. That's, I guess, how they are naming their variables. Oh, wait, fuck I do. Brain fart. Which means that I should take take a break real soon. Let me just, I am one of those types that I will take a break. Let me just finish this. Oh, and another break. And it turns out, oh shit, I haven't went to bathroom for 7 hours. I'm that type of dude. So yeah. Yeah, I just want to rotate it. So basically, oh, I can just do this. And axis is vector free. Wait, is there like a static of like vector free up, something like this? No, it doesn't work like this. Okay, on vector up, general vector up does exist? No. Okay, I learned my lesson. So it would be like, oh, sorry, because the y-axis is up, so that's that, and the angle, I don't know. Let's do. How did you? It was export. Yeah. Add export var angle rotation speed, and it will be float. And should I provide? Yeah, we can provide like, I don't know, 1.0 in radians, right? And it takes angle in degrees or radians? In radians. Okay, so I can be like 1, whatever. And then this times delta, right? And what do you not like? Could not find. Yeah, because. Wait, what? Coin model? What the fuck are you talking about? What coin model? I don't have such thing. I have coin 3D here. Where do you get coin model from? Function vector not. What? Let me catch up. Zinks. My break is a cigarette. Oh. My break is just getting out of the computer just to clear my thoughts. Use AI code or just hand code? Hand code. In the future, I want to try AI assisted, AI agents, etc. But first of all, for now, I don't have money to like for tokens, right? And I also, want to try it out in the future once the more chips will fall onto how workflow will work out, etc., etc. And right now, I want to learn by hand how to use Godot, etc., etc. Are you not using delta time? I am using delta time. Angle rotation speed times this. Yeah, I named it coin model at some like seconds ago, so I'm not really understanding how does he think. And coin, yeah, he reports like in coin GD script line 3 that I have coin model, but I don't. So I have no idea what is his problem. Does obstacle has something like this? No. On the line 3 I have angle rotation speed. So it seems like compiler of GD script or virtual machine of it is reading script that doesn't exist. Can I save scene as and save script as and wait, what? No, save, resave it. Yes. How about now? Okay, not found in the base. That's okay, but at least it's not telling me that in line 3 there is a reference to a variable that actually doesn't exist there anymore. So Zinc says you wrote coin model and I don't think you called it nodal. That was like previously. Right now it's Coin 3D, Mesh Instance 3D, and that's the name I'm using. Yeah, I know I typed it in beforehand, but I changed the code already and saved it, so I don't know what the fuck it was talking about. So I resaved the file and this warning went away. Freedom Dallas says, well, here's my thoughts. Your card, big card, 3080, local LM very powerful, your card very big, meaning massive context window. If you want, I show you how to install open source local AI coder. With 3080 it will go so fast, it's insane, you can code crazy fast stuff. I have only CPU and 4 GB RAM and I use LLM to code small, very tiny script. With a 3080 you can do insane big code. So really? Oh really? Okay. I was under the impression that I would have to like get Cloud Code and pay like subscription or something, and since seeing that the token price went up, I was like, oh shit, I cannot do this. Not yet. It will accelerate your coding a lot, 10, 20 times. These are free model, open source model, also open source libraries. And how does it fare with Unreal Engine? Because on the day job I'm using Unreal Engine, so I'm wondering how does that work? Yeah, and how much do I have to like fix after? Like, for sure I will plan a stream, like, you know, to explore this in some future. But right now, you know, I'm trying, you know, my hand coding because that's, for me, that's the better process for learning. But for me personally, I don't want to, you know, say to anyone how they should learn. For me, that works the best way. Reverse engineer thing, etc., etc. So I can have a thorough understanding, and then maybe if I will tell agent to do something, it can spit out the code, and I can be like, all right, let me, you know, audit the code and see what kind of errors are there, etc., etc. Right? These are free model open source. It does really good on Unreal Engine with MCP. Yeah, using Windows. Yeah, I'm using Windows. Unfortunately, I wanted to switch to Linux, to either Cache OS or even Ubuntu. I wanted to buy another disk drive so I can, and more RAM, so I can do a dual booting, right? Because for the day job I need Windows. But prices of components went up and I cannot do this anymore. Okay, guys. Did you install Windows C++ build tool yet? I think I have it. Yeah. I need to take a quick break. It might be like 10 minutes to clear my thoughts, and also I have food ready. So I'll be back in live. In around 10 minutes. So quick break, guys. I need to clear my thoughts, eat a little something, and I'll be back. Okay, sure, Freedom Deo. Yeah, thanks. So I'll be back in like a couple of minutes, like around 10 minutes, something like this, 10, 15, we'll see. So see you soon. All right, I'm back. I'm back, folks. So, brain refreshed. Name gaming 8033. So when you come back, please write about your country. I guess you're saying I'm going to go. Um, when you come back, please write about your country. What do you want to know about Poland and my country? I come from Poland. The funny thing about Poland and Polish people is that you won't find bigger haters of Poland other than Polish people. We really like to bitch about ourselves, other Polish people, etc. Like there's this Simpson joke that them Scottish people ruining Scotland. We feel about that constantly about our own country, right? But on the positive side of things, I can tell you that I really like living here. Don't tell my other Polish friends. It's like really getting better and better in many cases. And if I compare it to like 30 years ago, after the collapse of a socialistic regime, it's I consider it a miracle that we are where we are. The same goes for like Czechia, Slovakia, and Baltic countries, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, right? Like, if you study the geography and history of the countries around the world, what often happens after some country exits communist or socialistic regime, what happens is the big period of political instability, gangs and mafias, oligarchy, lots of bad shit happening. And of course we did had that in the 90s, just after transformation. But I don't know how historians will answer this at some point in the future. We managed to go through this period and enter this era when things are completely different. So I don't know, for now I really like living here. And there's a huge game development scene in here. From the big companies, you know, we have CD Projekt Red, we have Techland, we have Bloober, we have AA, we have Indie. So if you want to know more something about country, please free to write if you get back or on Discord or whatever. I'll be happy to answer as far as my knowledge extends. Okay, so I have a problem at line 14. Vector not found in the base itself. What the hell do you mean? But this function demands putting in the axis, vector. I cannot create vector in place like that? Really? Let's take a peek at this. No, they are doing like tangent, arcus tangent, etc. I refuse to believe that I cannot create a vector inside of a function. Maybe it is like that. I am doing it like that here. Alright, so might as well. Might as well do something like this. It's weird that I cannot make it. Okay. Maybe virtual machine creates like a constants out of it after transpiling and shit. I don't know. I don't actually know how GD script virtual machine works. Like, does it convert it to bytecode? Like, what's going on there? I wonder. And with the source code for Godot, I don't have it right now, But if we will go with the Godot development, me and my friend, then I could just, you know, take a peek at it, right? And that's it. Okay, so now it should be rotating, right? And it does nothing. It doesn't rotate at all. What is your error? The parameter delta is not... What are you talking about that it is not used? It is used. I am looking at it. There's some weird problem right now that I don't think the code is being executed correctly. All right. Okay, I don't have this thing going on in here. But why would this code not work? How does it work? Rotates this node's phases around the axis by the given angle. I gave the up, so it should rotate around the up vector, right? And I gave it the angle rotation. Can increase it to like, I don't know, fucking 40. Nothing. Do you even break in here? Like, you do. You have 0. Okay, coin 3D exists. And it's been found. Right? So now what? Player gets this. I go to coin. Property. Coin 3D. Can I actually like see live view of what the property... But where? In which script delta is not used? In the obstacle. Okay. I can give you this. Not being used in here. It's being used in here. And actually, I want to print the value of rotation before and after. So coin 3D. Coin rotation. Coin 3D. Transform. Wait. Yeah. Yes. Coin rotation. Before function and after function. I want to see those values. After. And I want to see if anything fucking changes. Because it kind of looks like rotate object local doesn't do jack shit. I can also go like rotate object, I guess. Does anything like this exist? Errors. Delta is never used. The fuck you talk about delta is never... It is. Low. Sorry, as the axis speed, coin 3D. Okay, those things are grabbed. Output. Conrotation before on function. We're going one step over. We are rotating. How the... I thought it was F10 to go to another line, or does it not work like... Oh, it does not work like this. Okay. I need to go like this. Debug. No, step over, F10. So what the fuck? Okay, something is wrong. Invalid call. Non-existence function. Ah, the function doesn't exist. So what is the function? Okay, let's change it back to local. Before coin rotation before function and output. In theory, it fucking did rotate. The model did rotate. So if I go like this, it should start showing me what are the values. Yeah. I don't get it. It looks like it only... No, it does go to the full pi. 3.14, because remember, it is degrees, but not in degrees, it is in radian. So it's funny, because it is showing me in the debug that yes, it does rotate on the y-axis, mostly. And goes from minus pi to plus pi, so full 360, right? And that it is doing it fast. So why I don't see any movement rendered? Let me do one thing for debug. Export var b should, oh my god, should move pull through. Oh my god, my C++ is showing. And export, right? And then coin now coin. We will turn it to off and let the obstacle do if should move. Can I use those or can't I? I guess not. Okay, I hate this, but freaking whatever. Ah, and it needs this. now let's play. In theory, it is moving 360 degrees. For some reason, I don't see it. And my script. Always with the fucking rotation. So in theory, I am moving it, yet I don't see any movement actually. Right, so. We can also go like, time, what the hell? Need another, right? And angular rotation speed times pi. Constant. Yeah. Yeah, of course. So yeah, it is extremely fast right now. So let's go like 0.1. Maybe it's just it was too fast. No, not really, but yeah, the transitions it makes are super hardcore. Look at this. Going from full pi, almost full pi, in 2 frames. In 1 frame, it goes 180 degrees. Basically. I wonder if that kind of map works. Why? No. 0.0. Let's make it super small. Why it's not? Wait, what? Why it's not allowing me? What is going on? I can't go like this. 3 showed up. What the hell? Okay. Okay, and now I don't know. Is it because I'm making almost 180 degrees turns and that's why I don't see it, or is there something other problem that I used a bad function or whatever? Okay, can I join on the stroke? Pretty. What other options I have for rotate? Oh, actually I have rotate. I have rotation degrees. Oh, I can actually do degrees to radians. Change, okay. What the hell is going on here? Rotate Z. And it is only by angle, right? In radians. Okay, so I can go dag radians, let's say, and let's change it angular rotation. Speed times delta. Let's do it like that, basically. Maybe there's something wrong with that function. Now it works. Okay, so I was just using wrong function and it was too fast. So how about we type Y, and now we have ourselves a nice rotating coin that could be going at us. We can go should move. We can change the rotation angle speed to actually 1 degree. Yeah, make it to 25 degrees per second. This doesn't do anything. Why? So that was the problem. I was changing values here and it just wasn't working. Because in this, nothing changes, but if I change it in here, it should work. What in the holy mother of everything? Okay, it worked. It worked. Okay. Everything works. Okay, so now I know how to assemble those kind of things and how to affect different parts of nodes in my tree. How to retrieve a reference to it, basically, already, and how to assemble those things via one singular script. And how to create those instances, etc., etc. So actually, how I would do it for the purpose of of the game, I would actually be like inherit node. I would inherit node 3D most probably, so I could have access to all the math libraries, but I think I still might have access to it, right? And call it like rotator script, or like rotator, visual rotator. That's how I would actually go about it. I have this. Let me go into coin and just copy a couple of things, right? I don't need to spam the log with none of that. And I can go like this actually. That's the thing that I wouldn't know. How can I get the reference to itself? Because it is just a GD script that should like this doesn't exist. God damn. So how can I get a reference to myself? Let me quickly Google that. GD script reference to self. It's just self. Okay. Let's go. This, my C++ S, it's self, right? And it will work nicely. It's just the other thing. I would, if I were to do it like truly like, whoa, right? I would go like export var rotation axis vector 3, and I would go of course I'm forgetting the name. And is your problem right now? Of course it should be vector 3. Yeah, and instead of using rotate rotate Y, I would be going rotate. And at first you need to provide the vector, which is this, and then you need to provide degrees to radians, which is this. And once again, I made some stupid error. That's how it should work. And so I can free the coin of any responsibility of animation, code animation, rotating objects, right? That way there should be only coin gameplay logic. I have visual rotator. When I'm on a scene, I can just take this 3D model, visual rotator, drop on it, and it should work, I guess. And it doesn't, because why the fuck would it work at the first time when it cannot work? Pass shouldn't be there. First thing, and yeah, I can type it 180 here, and now it will work. Yeah, so I created a script that right now it is reusable. I didn't use the Godot naming convention. That one will require more sorry for that, more shifting gears, sticking with the naming convention of the Godot itself. But fuck it. All right, it's 2:35 p.m. I guess that's it for me for now, for today. So what we do have on the next stream, which will actually happen a little bit later, and I will show you when in a second. Yeah, coin overlap with player, blah blah blah. We'll be doing like spawners and a couple of other shit. The composition kinda seems actually nice. I can see myself how I can assemble everything, how to create a nice inheritance in such a way that I wouldn't kill myself with it. Etc, etc, etc. I can see it going forward. On the next stream, I will try to finish up all this basic scripting around it. And on the topic of next stream, let's go to the calendar, maybe. Calendar. Google. But it would go on its own. So I'm off for this weekend, 7 and 8, and I'm off. Sorry, 31st and the 1st of August. I'm off for 7 and 8. I will be back on 15th of August because I'm going on vacation. So there will be like 2 weekends that I won't be streaming, and after I'm back, I hope I will tie up and finish up all the loose ends of testing, trying out, like the scripting capabilities, etc. in here. And I hope this stream, I don't know if I'll be able to make it on the next stream or the stream after that. I want to get into the rendering, processing, materials, etc. side of things to try to recreate that look from that we established in Unreal Engine 5. So that was a blast, guys. It was really nice working all of that out with y'all and talking and chatting about everything. So that'll be it from me. Without further ado, I'll be back on, and I closed the goddamn calendar. I'll be back on 15th of October, 16th of October, and see you guys back then. Have a nice rest of the weekend and a whole great 2 weeks ahead of you. So bye bye guys, have a good one.